Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of the Million Pound Mission Podcast. It's your buddy Adam, the PhD, the previously heavy dude, and this is episode number 239, How to Not Gain It All Back. And I know that so many of you stress out about this point where you've lost weight and you are just waiting for that error to happen, that mistake to happen that leads to you going down that downward spiral, re-entering the black hole of fitness doom and gaining that weight back. I know that some of you have already been there and done that. You've lost it, you've gained it back. You're afraid to get started again out of that fear of, man, I went through that once and that sucked. I don't want to do that again. So you just don't start. You're paralyzed at the starting line. So this episode is for the person that kind of wants to take out that insurance policy, have some action steps to lean on. So if you've already lost weight, how to make sure that we don't gain it back. If you're getting ready to restart or start the journey, to ensure that you lose those pounds and you never find them again. All right. Now, before we dive into this, and this will be a value-loaded episode, I've got something exciting happening this week. I've got something exciting happening next week that I want to tell you about very quickly. So this week, I am doing what I am calling a Million Pound Mission Interview Blitz Week. A couple things I'm committed to, all right? The first thing I'm committed to is I've had tremendous amount of feedback from you guys saying, hey, Adam, we like getting the solo episode at least a couple times a month, every other week, and I'm committed to doing that. So this week, you're getting that solo episode, just me and you. I love to do these because I love to talk to you directly. I love to teach. I love to coach, and this is one of those ways that I get that creativity out there. So I'm going to keep doing that. But I'm also being bombarded with really amazing interview opportunities just opportunities to meet really interesting people and talk to them. And so I'm getting backlogged on my interviews again. So I'm going to do this little blitz week. I might do it once a month. It's just going to kind of depend on my interview flow. But we'll put out a few extra episodes. So this week you get my solo episode today. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm going to introduce you to a new health influencer that you've probably never heard of before. And just to get you thinking a little differently. So with 3 interviews and then our normal Friday episode. So Monday through Friday this week, you're getting Million Pound Mission action. So another thing I'm committed to, and I'm not trying to be all fancy or anything here, but I'm becoming an established podcaster. Like we're approaching the mid 200s in our episodes. You guys are tuning in. We're getting something special going here. And I remember as I first got started, I had several people reach out their hand, established podcasters, pull me up and interview me and help shine a light on my message. And I want to repay that with some new health and fitness influencers. Like I said, the folks that I'm going to introduce you to this week, chances are you've probably never heard of them before, but they have interesting things to say. And I'm not going to put them out there if they aren't going to add some value to you. So I'm very excited to reach my hand out and say, all right, let me shine a light on what you've got to say. And I think that, I don't know, it's the circle of life. We just had a Lion King moment here on Million Pound Mission. Nasavania. All right. So, we're off to a good start. Now, that's this week. Let's talk about next week. All right. I've been doing these 7-day free challenges, and they're going really well, and I'm having a lot of fun with them. So our next, and I also have not promoted them on the podcast, Adam Air. I keep forgetting to do that. I kind of get ahead of myself and I'm like, oh, I forgot to mention the free thing. But we're having hundreds of people join these challenges from around the globe. It's super awesome and they're free. So starting next Monday, that's going to be June 10th, 6/10/19. And I know some of you are in the future listening back through all the episodes. Just stay plugged in. I'm sure I'm still doing these in the future. If you're listening like the year 2025, who knows what's happening. So next week, 6/10, I'm going to launch my next free challenge. It's a 7-day, 10-minute mobility challenge, and that's going to be body recovery. I've got a 10-minute follow-along video for you to do each day, and we'll report in. We've got some accountability groups, and just investing some time in feeling better, healing your body maintenance, foam rolling, stretching, mobility. Super easy to do. You can do these anytime, anywhere, 10 minutes a day. And the challenge will be active, and you can sign up for that. So it's ready to rock. Just go to habitlaunchchallenge.com and get signed up for that 10-minute mobility challenge, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So check that out and get signed up. I'll be talking about it quite a bit this week as we do all these episodes. So I'll peel back a few layers each day to let you know more about that mobility challenge. Okay, it's time to talk about how to not gain it all back. Like I said at the top of the show, this thought strikes fear in the hearts of anybody that's been on a weight loss journey, right? Like that's our worst nightmare is, oh, I had success and then I fell back to the bottom. And same thing if you're an entrepreneur, if you make $1 million and then lose it all, it's that fear of failure is paralyzing. So I want to give you a little bit of hope. I want to give you some action steps and some tools and some thoughts to use against this fear. All right. So the first thing, I've got 11 tips. So the first thing is I want you to fully understand where you're at in the transformation timeline. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say the transformation timeline, I want you to make a mental note, listen to episode 230, Million Pound Mission. So 9 episodes ago, I dove deep on transformation timeline. But I feel like if you understand that path, this is kind of the GPS navigator of your transformation, understanding which of the 3 phases you are in or which phase you're trying to get to, which phase you are tending to get stuck in, then you have an extreme advantage, and chances are you're not going to move backwards because now you know where you stand. And so instead of just taking random action and really trying really hard on your weight loss journey, you have a roadmap. You've got that GPS. You know how to get from point A to point B. So understand where you're at in the transformation timeline. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Second tip, understand the different phases of momentum that I explained in the transformation life cycle episode. So that's episode 235 when I talk about the transformation life cycle. And a quick summary of that is the 3 phases of momentum. We have negative momentum, we have positive momentum, and then we have a momentum shift from negative to positive or positive to negative. And just understanding how that works and how your transformation life cycle will actually look versus what we normally think it's going to look like. Like we think we've got an issue, we join a boot camp, that solves the issue, we're good forever. And that's just not how it looks. So understanding all the twists and the turns and taking that pressure off of ourselves and realizing that it's more important just to be mindful of where our momentum is currently at versus trying to fix everything at once and solve everything forever. We have to realize that that's just not the way it works. That's not the way that life works, and life will continue to happen and stress will continue to happen. It's just how we are prepared for that stress. It's how we react to it and how mindful we are of which phase of momentum we are. So if you dip into a negative momentum phase, being mindful of that, saying, okay, now I have a tool that I can use to reverse that momentum and shift gears again and keep moving forward. So very important to understand the different phases of momentum. Again, you can dive deep on that with episode number 235. Now, I'm not going to be referencing episodes in every tip here. Those are the only 2. All right. So episode 230, dive into the transformation timeline. Episode 235, understand the different phases of momentum with the transformation life cycle. Third tip, don't unplug. I see this happen a lot. People are like, just a busy time, Adam. Something had to give. I just can't focus on this right now. And really understand what you're saying there. I mean, when you unplug, that's just you basically waving the white flag and saying, I'm not going to be healthy for an extended period of time. And really think about what that means, what you're actually saying. And if you have children or people that depend on you being around, I want you to verbalize this out loud to them. Stand in front of your 8-year-old and say, okay, here's the deal. Daddy's really busy. He's too busy to focus on his health, which means, I may not be around as long for you. So instead of eating salads and exercising and taking some time doing that, I'm going to eat pizza and I'm going to eat McDonald's because somehow I've justified in my mind that will take less time and less pressure than eating healthy. All right. So that's the reality of what we're actually saying that we're trying to convince ourselves of is I just don't have time to eat healthy. Like, what does that mean? I don't have time to go and exercise. We have time. And the other thing, I was talking about this on a live cast, my Tuesday night live cast last night. It's like, we're going to be busy. We have to disabuse ourselves of this thought that we're going to find this magical rainbow land where we're all of a sudden not busy. All right. We're going to be busy doing things that stress us out, that cause anxiety, that are things that are imposed by other people, or we're going to be busy filling up our cup, investing in ourselves, investing in the people that are important in us, investing in our health, investing in things that rejuvenate us, that pump us up, that fill us up with positive energy. We're going to be busy either way. And usually, there's a percentage of both, but we can control the busyness. That's what you want to shoot for. We're not trying to get completely unbusy, all right? We're trying to control the percentages of busyness that we have in the positive zone versus the negative zone. And I think I just invented a whole other podcast topic, so I may save it for there, but this is important, right? We're going to be busy no matter what. We are adults. People will put stuff on us, or we will block off our calendar and preserve that time. And here's the thing. All the work stuff, all the stuff in general, the work stuff, the friend stuff, the family stuff, all the stuff will get done, right? But don't prioritize that stuff that can be done maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, and don't prioritize that over your health, because you want to invest in you. You want to invest in you being around for the people that need you to be around for lots of years. All right, so don't just unplug and be like, just for a little bit. I had a client at my gym that drives me nuts, and he's done this a couple of times. I've even talked about it a couple of times. Like, summer's pretty busy. I'm not going to be around. Just letting you know. I'll be back in the fall. And it just blows my mind. It's like, so you're not going to eat healthy or sweat or move or have any accountability? I don't know. I don't want you guys waving the white flag like that, because you deserve better than that. And your kids deserve better than that. Your spouse, your partners, they deserve better than that. Your friends deserve better than that. And, I think you're worth just doing your best, right? All right, so that's the third tip. Don't unplug and stay away from that whole transformation light switch syndrome that I talk about. All right, number 4, embrace and search for accountability. Find those accountability anchor points. This is huge. When you talk about not gaining your weight back, huge. All right, we're climbing a mountain. Anchor in as often as possible. Anchor in as many times as possible. That way, if you slip, somebody's there to catch you. All right. If you just have a personal trainer, and that's a good step, I'm not knocking that at all. But if that's your only accountability anchor point and your personal trainer moves or decides to quit personal training, you're screwed, right? I see this happen all the time where, I recently retired from personal training, and I've seen people completely unplug because I was their only accountability anchor point. That was it. Like that session or those 2 sessions or whatever, like that got them in the gym, that got them going. And I was like, I just don't have time to do that anymore. And I'm there to support them in other ways, but they just unplug from that. And all of a sudden, they're not feeding off the Adam energy, and they aren't coming in at all, and they aren't investing in themselves at all. And that's a bummer to see. So you have to have multiple levels, multiple layers of accountability anchor points that are there to catch you. All right. And one of my best accountability anchor point tips is look at all the areas in your life where you spend the most time: work, family, friends, circles, organizations, church, things like that. Wherever you spend the most time, search for healthy accountability anchor points. Start little groups, clubs, challenges, friend groups, lunch things, whatever. But try to establish a healthy support. And it doesn't have to be a huge deal. It can be people that just go and walk together at work. But it's a supportive thing that's going to, people will be there. They'll expect you to be there. You expect them to be there. And it's very positive and supportive. So search for those accountability anchor points. Embrace accountability, especially when things aren't going good. If you've lost 50 pounds and you're starting to slip and you feel that, you should just be out there on the hunt for accountability, not going, man, I've got myself into this mess. I got to get myself out because my trainer's going to be pissed at me because I've gained 20 pounds back. He's going to shame me. He hates me. I know it. That little voice in our head, we just have to tell it to shut the hell up and look for help. Look for accountability. Lean on those people that can support you and get going back in the right direction. So remember, accountability is not judgment. Accountability is support. That's the way that we think about it here with our 1,000,000-pound mission. Tip number 5, use the 28-day cycle strategy, aka use my doggone best tool I've got out there for free, the Transformation Battle Plan Workbook. This, I'll preach this workbook until the day I die, until the day I do my last burpee. I feel like we need a rock solid battle plan. We need to have a home base to operate from. And this is something that I created. It's free. Go to millionpoundmission.com. Just get it and download it and use these 28-day cycles. I like the 28-day cycle. I like mapping things out, like our danger zones, our nutrition plan, we're committed. Our fitness plan, we're committed. Our body maintenance and mobility plan, we're committed. We create a habit streak. And I feel like it's the perfect little home base formula to use for a 28-day cycle. We focus in for 28 days. 28 days is enough time to see progress, to gain momentum, but it's not this, oh, here's our year roadmap with all these high pressure goals. And, we're living in a pass fail life now. If we don't achieve them, if you don't lose 50 pounds this year, then you are a loser. So we're not doing that. It's not a high pressure giant goal situation, but it feels doable. All right. And I've done this with my Transformation Reboot community month after month after month. This really, really works. It works well. And people, this is something, if you've never tried the workbook, that would be a great starting action step for you here today. So that's number 5. Use the 28-day cycle strategy and use that transformation battle plan workbook, available at millionpoundmission.com. Shameless plug. It's my podcast. I can do those sorts of things. All right, number 6, big one. All right, this is going to be a little mental shift for you. I want you to focus on habit goals that lead up to your achievement goals. So most people listening to this podcast probably have a weight loss goal, 20 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, whatever. What I want you to think about is, all right, let's say you have a 50-pound goal. You want to lose 50 pounds. I'm not huge. I'm like, I got to lose 50 pounds in 6 months. Why? Why are you going to do that to yourself? Just set that goal of 50 pounds, and the goal is chipping away to get to that 50-pound goal, right? Not the pressure of 50 pounds in 6 months. Well, what if it takes 7 months? It took me 5 years to lose 100 pounds. Do you think I'm pissed that it took me that long? Hell no. I'm glad I've lost 100 pounds. It's awesome, right? I feel great. So don't put that kind of a deadline on your weight loss goal. But what we can do is create little mini deadlines with habits that will lead up to that achievement goal. So the achievement goal is the finish line, and the habit-based goals are like the stones that we skip on to get to that goal. All right. So what I want you thinking about is 50 pounds is the big achievement goal. What kind of habit goals will lead to that? Things like, I'm going to work out 180 minutes per week. I'm going to work out 15 minutes per day on average. I'm going to drink half my body weight in ounces of water. I'm going to do 5 minutes of positive affirmations every day, creating stepping stones with those habit goals. And we can put that timeline, that deadline on those where we are showing up, taking action, and that's dragging us towards that bigger goal. All right. So don't put the big high pressure deadline timeline on the achievement goal. Use that method with the habit-based goals that are action steps that are dragging you towards the big achievement. All right, that's number 6. Number 7, you've got to understand that you have to show your body the respect that it deserves. I talked about this a little bit earlier, but I want to re-emphasize this point. No business project or social activity is more important than the foundational things that keep us alive. Something like, your boss really hammers you with a ton of work. Your spouse is out of town and the kid's schedule is nuts. You just can't cover your eyes and hope for the best. Like, you might have to say no to some stuff. You might have to shift things around a little bit. Maybe, your kid goes to one less practice so you can go get your workout in. Like, there has to be balance there. And you have to treat your body with the respect that it deserves, because you are worth it. In those relationships, I guarantee your children, like when they're older and maybe when they have kids, you can have a conversation and be like, remember when we took you out of baseball because it was getting kind of crazy and you were really mad at me? Well, why I did that was because I needed time to go to the grocery. I needed time to go and get my workouts in. And I feel like from doing that, that's why I'm here today. And I can show up with you here today in a healthy state. So you can look forward to that conversation. They won't understand when they're little kids or whatever. And you may feel that parent guilt, which we all do, because we want to give our kids everything possible. But don't sacrifice you and your health. Same thing with work. Same thing with friends. Sometimes friendships shift. Sometimes they change. If you had a friend putting high pressure on you to go out and drink every night after work, you're going to have a conversation, right? Because your body, your long-term health, it deserves that level of respect. That is tip number 7. Tip number 8, understand your goals, understand what they are, and show up for those goals every day. So there are no off days when it comes to that big goal that you're striving for, that thing that will just be a game changer. So if that's losing 50 pounds, that's going to have a trickle effect on your confidence, your long-term health, your relationships, your career path. Then the way you feel every day, that's always good. If you feel good every day. So if you've got that giant goal, you have to understand that let's move the needle in the right direction, like 1% every day. I want you to imagine a giant like redwood tree in your yard. And what we're not trying to do is chop it down with one strike of the axe. What I want you to think about instead is going out into that yard every day and you take your best swing, but you don't miss any days, right? You go out there and you just take your best swing. Some days the axe will break. Some days you got to sharpen the axe a little bit. Some days you'll have a really good swing. You'll make a dent. Some days you may swing and miss. But regardless, you walk out there and you swing the axe every day. Every day. There's something that you do to move the needle in the right direction. It doesn't have to be, I work out 6 hours every day. I'm not saying that at all. Maybe one day you just make a good choice. That's you swinging the axe. Maybe one day your buddies invite you out for drinks afterwards and you go, but you don't have drinks. You just are there for them. You hang out. That's you swinging the axe. Maybe, you have a chat with your boss and say, listen, you got to back off on the pressure on these projects because it's stressing me out and it's affecting my sleep. That's you swinging the axe. Get out there and swing the damn axe every day. If you do that, the tree will fall. Eventually, the tree will fall. All right, the goal will be achieved, and you're going to have a lot of pride in that. Like I said, it took me 5 years to lose 100 pounds, but I got out there, I walked out, and I swung the axe every day. Every day. You guys know that I use something called my lifestyle rehabilitation statement. That was just me mapping out the life that I wanted to create for myself. So I lost 100 pounds, but I also was able to, fall in love, start a family. I got rid of all my debt and start a business and all that. So that was me going out and swinging lots of axes. But for you guys, it could just be reclaim and control your health, right? But you walk out and you swing the axe every single day. No off days, all right? Because you're worth it. Number 9, kind of in line with what I just talked about. My why is always bigger than the combined sum of all the why nots. It's important for you to get there. And if you're feeling uninspired, usually this balance is off. The why nots are starting to creep up, especially if you're somebody that's lost weight and gained it back. I've talked about this before. You can't come back on your comeback tour. So if you lost 30 pounds and gained it back, the comeback tour isn't going to happen if you bring the same why to the party. Right? You've got to level up your why, because once you lose weight and gain it back, that sense of failure and that fear of failure again, that levels up the why nots. Those are 2 big why nots that get stacked up on that side of the equation. So you have to elevate your why. You have to find that next level of fire that you're going to bring to the table to make sure that you level up, right? So just making sure that your why is always greater than the combined sum of all the why nots. It's huge. Like, what's going to just drive you forward no matter what? What's going to get you out of bed for your 5:30 a.m. boot camp class no matter what? What's going to make you go to the grocery every Saturday no matter what, right? What's going to make you walk out and swing the axe every day no matter what? That's what you got to get to with that why. All right, that's number 9. Number 10, find your tribe. Do not go out there alone. We talked about accountability anchor points, but you have to find just that collection of supportive people, like-minded people that are on the journey with you. And don't just put that on friends and family members, like, or coworkers, like, yeah, you got to be my accountability buddy. my spouse, my wife, my husband, whatever. You can't put that on somebody. You got to find that connection. Meet people at your local fitness club. You join my transformation reboot program. That's like the ultimate tribe right there, and I get to be a part of your tribe. You guys are a part of the Million Pound Mission community already. Like, you guys are a part of this. You have this tribe, and I'm going to work on more opportunities to facilitate that with some live meetups and things like that. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But you have to find the tribe that you feel like, all right, I plug into this. I feel the support. We're all moving in a direction. Do one of my free challenges. That's going to help you establish some of those connections. All right, but don't walk out there into the woods alone. All right, find that collection of like-minded people that you feel that positive energy vibrate from. All right, very important. Don't feel like you have to do this alone. And then finally, number 11, don't be afraid to ask for help. You got to shift that ego to the side, my friend. I know this is the hardest one. That's why I saved it for last, especially for somebody that's had success and those people have celebrated you, and your coach has had a lot of pride in you and your family and your friends. They've seen you march up 50 pounds down, 60 pounds down, 70 pounds down, but then things start to slip. Life happens. You're not ready for it. First, just realize that this is normal. That transformation life cycle that I talked about in episode 235, like, that's normal. But just disabuse yourself of that pressure to be perfect and just to march in that positive direction every time. Momentum shifts happen, life happens, and it's just how we react to it. And for the people that, again, do this, I got to do this on my own, I got to fix this on my own, you are putting yourself in a very slippery slope, my friend. Instead of reaching out to the people that are there to support you, your accountability anchor points, your coaches, your friends, your tribe, get out there and don't isolate yourself. Re-plug in, say, hey, I'm slipping. I need help. All right, I need help. I need some assistance with this. Here's what I'm struggling with. Let's talk it out. Let's get some coffee, best friend or spouse. Let's do an extra workout and do a strategy session, people that I work out with at the gym. So you have to be willing, again, to just put some of that pride and ego on the shelf and say, listen, I need some help. You reach out that hand and you ask somebody, all right, whether that's me, whether, there's an endless supply of podcasting people that I've introduced you to that can help you out in different areas of your life, whether it's anxiety or, binge eating or whatever. Reach out and ask for help. That's a huge step. All right. And if you only do one thing, if you feel like you are struggling, if you feel like you are slipping backwards, like, do that in the next 24 hours, and don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid of judgment. When you ask somebody genuinely for help, if they get judgy or if they shame you, that's their issue, not yours. They're in the wrong, not you. And 9 times out of 10, I really feel like if you built those honest relationships and with your accountability group and your tribe, it's just not going to happen. That's the little voice, that's the little scenario that we concoct inside of our brain region, and we just tend to freak ourselves out with that. So ask for help. All right, quick recap. The 11 tips on how to not gain it all back. Number 1, understand where you're at in the transformation timeline. Number 2, understand the different phases of momentum in the transformation life cycle. Number 3, do not unplug. All right. Number 4, embrace and search for accountability. Number 5, use the 28-day cycle strategy. Number 6, focus on habit goals that lead up to your achievement goals. Number 7, understand that you have to show your body the respect that it deserves. Number 8, understand that what your goals are and show up for them every day. Swing that axe. Number 9, your why is always greater than the combined sum of all of the why nots. Number 10, find your tribe. And number 11, do not be afraid to ask for help. My friends, I hope that you have found this helpful. Even if you apply just a couple of these, they can be game changers. All right. If you're on that slippery slope, reach out for help. Ask me, ask somebody, and let's correct course, and let's get out there and let's own it. Every meal, every workout, every day. I will see you on the next episode. Hey, thanks for hanging out after the episode, the after party. I appreciate you so much for listening in. Your feedback is always welcome. You can leave a rating and review on iTunes. That is much appreciated, my friend. Now, quick reminder, we have our brand new Habit Launch Challenge launching next Monday, June 10th. I'd love to have you in there. If you're somebody that, if you just feel like you need to plug into something, get a little spark. Obviously, treating your body well with mobility, that's a good thing. If you wake up with aches and pains, this will help with that. But if you just feel like you need a little bit of that tribe that I talked about, if you need a little bit of accountability, some support, something to get your transformation mojo going, this is going to be that. All right. This is that thing. You're listening to this right now for a reason. We start on Monday. Let's get plugged in. HabitLaunchChallenge.com. It's free. It's simple. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'd love to have you in there. HabitLaunchChallenge.com. I hope you enjoy the bonus episodes the rest of the week. I've got some really interesting people to introduce you to over the next few days. And as always, hit me up on Instagram at Million Pound Mission and let me know what you think. All right, I'll see you on tomorrow's episode.